join today. All right, so I think that's a pretty good view. And yeah, we're close to getting started here, friends. Just going to take a little drink of water, and thanks for joining this morning. Good morning, Sarah, Tammy, Stephanie, and whoever else may be out there. Please check in. I left my chai tea at home, so I'm just got my water this morning. Good morning, Chigako, and hi, Sam. Great. And so I just thought I would kind of dial in on our little chai and chat session that we have here. And this morning's theme, if you haven't yet seen the posting, is on Pranidhanat, and we know that word as surrender. And a couple of you reached out, to me last night about, this particular topic being, certainly illuminated in some ways. And I feel like what goes on in the practice of surrender is first this idea of acceptance. And Stephanie sent me something last night. I think it was from Eckhart Tolle, and if I can remember, it had something like, when one can fully accept something, then it leads you to peace, and that is the magic of surrender. And I really like that. Babaji said that with respect to surrender and acceptance is that there's disturbance in the mind when people don't accept the pairs of opposites as a construct of the universe. And because of that, non-acceptance of the pairs of opposites brings disturbance into the mind or into the field. And so ultimately then where we kind of go with this is that there's this idea of acceptance / surrender, because when we're not accepting something, say, it's actually the ego that is like making a judgment that whatever that is should be different than what it is. Essentially, it's always the ego. And so then it's really the ego is kind of what we're surrendering to, if you will, right? In its permutations of objective reality, And this week I read something from Babaji that someone asked him about, the topic of surrender, and he said ultimately, he goes, it is our sadhana that will lead us, into the capability of the ego surrendering. And so that was his comment on surrender. He goes, we need a nexus to support that sense of surrender, and it's the ego that gets us into that trouble, if you will. And so our sadhana lets the ego surrender. And then I was reflecting on that, too, because then there are layers of that kind of surrender. The first layer is say acceptance or ego release, if you will. And then the second layer to that is that the one who is surrendering surrenders the act of surrendering. Because there's still this idea that I'm a participant. And that's kind of the last layer that we have to purge. It's still, as long as the I am sense is existing in the act, then the ego is still in the influence of whatever it is. And if you think about that for a second, you'd be like, yeah, that is true. One of the ideas that I've always considered is we let go of the idea of letting go. It's like, oh, let go. And then well, let go of letting go. There's still another layer that we have to process. So we'll work on that today in our class somewhat through different salutations and different things that we do with the with the body. And so thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see what we can do about Pranidhanat. Yeah, Pranidhanat, surrender. So I'm just going to slip back to my seat here and get comfortable in your seated position if you aren't already. I'm going to chant a little bit as we set the sankalpa, as we set the intention. And what I would offer is there's probably, a fair amount of material to work with for each of us with respect to the things that we're either attracted to or the things that we're avoiding. So those would be the pairs of opposites that Babaji was talking about, right? And so the eyes gently close down. Elongate the spine here as we sit nice and tall. Let the elbows stack under the shoulders so the torso is nice and broad, chest open, heart open. And at the same time, the body is very relaxed here. And just breathe into the belly. And we know this technique as the belly extends outward as we inhale into the spine as we exhale. And maybe kind of do an internal kind of scan, an inner view of something in your life where first you may feel that it would be helpful if you took your ego out of it. And that's the patterns of your beliefs, your conditioned existence, all the things. Maybe there's something that's gotten you into trouble because of that. I'm saying. And it can be something that's, good too. It doesn't have to be something that's affecting you negatively. The things that are positive in our life, tendency to kind of possess us versus us being equal with them. So it goes a few different ways with this. You just kind of feel into that. Pranidhanat. So let's surrender. Pranidhanat. 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 And so, in setting the intention, just ensure that something that we do our asanas today, that you can feel this energy of surrender, of letting go, of unwinding, say, your ego that may be involved in something. Maybe accepting the pairs of opposites. Maybe fully accepting something so there's peace, and in that the magic of surrender is revealed. And then finding this place that's so refined, and maybe one might even say pure, that you've just even let go of letting go. There's no more I am. The ego of the doers is even abolished. The ego of the surrenderer is clear. Okay, friends. Just gently open your eyes here. We'll stay in a seated position here. If you're on any support, you can move that from underneath the hips. Then from this position, just extend the hands out and bow down. And just breathe here. Let the arms extend fully. And just gently walk the hands towards the pelvis and come on up. And then interlace the fingers here, extend the palms out, and then gently float the hands and arms over the head. So one way that we can kind of consider this process, take a nice big inhale, and exhale, float the hands and arms down around the low back, rock back on the sacrum, pretty familiar, and then just continue this movement with your breath, is that we'll inhale, but then the inhale is surrendered into the exhale. And so there's this kind of process of movement and breathing, or then the exhale. Just find your own pacing here. Just feel it for yourself. You're just relating to breath and movement, the subtleties of expression, and also the subtleties of letting go. And we'll meet at the top here. A little stir of the upper arm bones. So just let the hands and arms go shoulder height. Right palm turns up, left palm turns down, and then just a little twist in the arms here. And just feel present. And then a little kind of swimming of the arms. Just let everything, all the joint capsules get lubricated. Yeah. Nice. And then neutral position here, eagle arms, so put the hands and arms over the head, right under the left, so the foremost palms come together. Give the head a little bit of a stir. And a little stretch of the neck. Kind of squeeze the forearms together so they feel the scapulas in the back separate. And then inhale, sweep hands and arms wide. And exhale, switch it out. So the left arm under the right, so forearms, palms come together. Elbows out and up, shoulder blades down the back. A little stir of the head here again. Yeah. And then gently inhale, foot, hands, arms wide. Exhale, then behind you, interlace the fingers. And just kind of feel like the energy of what surrender means, right? Letting go. There's a sweetness to it. You know, somewhere in there, there's some innocence to it. But something's also kind of being destroyed. There's some abolishment. And then just gently release the grip of the hands here. Extend the right hand out. The left palm turns up. Then I'll put hand arm up. And then exhale the arm over the head and just reach here. Really lengthen into the side body. The heart can turn open here a little bit. Turn the blade edge of the hand towards the earth. Engage the tricep muscle arm to straighten the arm. Long line of energy. And then gently inhale, float hand and arm up. Exhale, release it down. Extend. Left arm we switch. So right palm turns up. Inhale and exhale. Stay with your breath. Pranidhanat. So surrender. Just even feel the tissues surrender to the length of the stretch. That they're letting go. And then you co-collaborate without letting go. And then gently inhale, float on up. And exhale, gently release down. So we'll come off of our seated position now. Let's make our way into a tabletop position first. And take a moment and just kind of stir the hips and just a little circling of the hips to warm up the body further. Just kind of feel into that. Make sure that the breath is included in the process where we're inhaling the heart forward and exhaling the hips back. And feel free to just move organically, however that may be designed for you. Yeah, so nice. And then coming into a neutral position, and then puppy pose or Ardha Mukha Svanasana, half down dog, forehead to the earth, hips stay lifted here, just sink the heart. And just feel for a moment, just allow kind of this bowing position of the body to kind of take hold into your sensibilities, how that kind of creates kind of like experience, if you will. And then just gently inhale, come on up into the tabletop position. Just kind of feel that a minute. And then left hand floats under the face. Inhale, take the right hand to the sky. Give the wrist a little bit of a spin. So a twist here. A nice big inhale. And exhale, feeding the right hand through on the inside, left shoulder and ear to the mat. Left hand reaches top edge of the mat. The hips can drift to the right to seal the twist here, and just breathe. Let kind of peace and silence take over your experience. And a nice big inhale. And exhale, the left hand back underneath you, ground it. And then they'll float the right hand to the sky. And then gently release here, and we'll switch to ground the right hand, and then inhale, float the left hand, a little stir of the wrist here, breathe very deeply. Nice big inhale, and exhale, now feeding left hand through on the inside of the right shoulder, near to the mat, right hand reaches, hips drift to the left. And just stay with the breath. And then a nice big inhale. And exhale down the right hand back underneath you, ground it. And the inhale, take the left hand to the sky. Yeah, breathe in. And then back to neutral position here. Tabletop, extend the right leg behind you, tuck the back toes under. On the mat, so a little stretch to the bottom of the foot, just to wake that up. And then again, as we sustain these stretches, these forms today, really be kind of intricately aware of how the muscles are releasing that kind of act of letting go. And you can kind of collaborate with that. We'll switch now, extend the left, toes tuck under on the mat. Just feeling into that. Yeah. And then gently release. And we'll meet in down dog here. So just walk the knees, one little step behind the plane of the hips lift when that's good for you. And just feel your way through that. Little movement here is fine. Stay with the breath here. Firmly ground, though, the roots of the fingers, right? Heels stretching towards the earth, triceps kind of draping towards the earth, so the upper back, arms are externally rotating, all that information. Yeah, just stay with your breathing. Yeah, and then put a little bend in the right knee, ground the right hand, and stretch left calf and Achilles. And then straighten and switch. And in left knee, grounding left hand, and then a little pedaling between the two if you like. On that. And then just come into a neutral position here. Just sustaining downward facing dog. With each exhale, one is invited to take the inner sensation deeper and softening deeper, becoming more present. And we'll meet in child's pose. I appreciate the endurance here, friends. Release to the knees, hips to the heels, forehead or hands back to the ankles. And just breathe into the belly. Yeah. Good morning. And then very gently here. Inhale, come up into the tabletop. And then pivot all the way onto the belly here, all the way to the front of the body here, and ground the front of the body, toes, spread, pelvis, hands, and then Bhujangasana, cobra pose, and float the torso. So just come on up here and just breathe, just feeling the muscles, the back. And then we'll move here some. So nice big inhale, and exhale, float the torso and the forehead down. And then again, inhale, float on up. And exhale, float down. And then one more of these, float on up. And then just lift the hips and drop back into child's pose again. Yeah, just breathe. And then gently inhale into tabletop. We'll meet in downward facing dog. So tuck the back toes under. Front hips left, of course. Take a moment here. Remembering the kind of the rhythm of the inhale and exhale. Surrendering the inhale into the exhale. Pranidhanat. Yeah. And then gently stay with me here. Walk the hands back to the feet, so we're at the back of the mat. The back of the mat. Lengthen the crown of the head towards the earth, so a nice standing forward fold here. Take a moment. Give the head a little bit of a stir, yes and no. You might grab opposite elbows, maybe even sway the torso a little bit. Just feeling your way into that. Stay with the breath. With that kind of sense of bowing, support, that kind of energy of letting go. Yeah. And then inhale, Ardha, so half lift your hands, mid-shins. Feel length from the tail to the crown. And a nice big inhale, and exhale, lengthen out as you pull down, chin tucks, hands release. And then again, inhale, flat back, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then half lift. Last time here, pause for a moment. And we'll come to standing, so bend the knees, cactus the arms, flat back to standing, reach hands and arms over the head here. Just put a little sway in the body, just a little bit of movement here, whatever might feel good for the body, just kind of illuminate kind of the sensation of length in the form. Yeah, and then hands to prayer here at the heart. So earth kind of salutation form. And again, maybe allow for your sankalpa, your intention to come in. Here, inhale, float hands and arms to the sky. Reach really tall, and then keep the core active, and then sweep the arms open as you knife the hands back. Let the shoulders release down the back and kind of come into a little bit of a standing back bend. You can kind of turn the blade edge of the hands towards the sky. Just breathe very deeply here. Let the heart open nicely. Yeah. And then inhale, reach hands and arms once again back over your head. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward, little bend in the knees goes a long way here. Chin tucks, hands come down. And then inhale into thunderbolt position, we call this. Bend the knees, draw the knees to the earth. The toes stay tucked under on your mat. That can be a little tender. We won't be here too long. Hands to prayer. Take a nice big inhale. Next, so release the hands down to the mat, and we do this thing called pranam, bowing. So forehead to the earth, ground in front of the body. Pranam, and then inhale, coming into Bhujangasana, cobra pose once again. Stay with the breath. And then a nice big inhale, and exhale back into child's pose. The hips lift and drift back to the ankles. Breathe in. Yeah. And then gently inhale, coming back into thunderbolt pose. We have to tuck the back toes under, hands to prayer. Yeah. Take a moment there, and then take a nice big inhale, and exhale, straighten the legs, forward folding. Uttanasana, we know this as. And then inhale, flat back all the way to standing, reach all the way up and out of it. Hands and arms over the head. Just draw the arms nice and broad and open. Big inhale, and exhale, hands to prayer at the heart. So again, let your intention appear. Inhale, float hands and arms. Just stay with me here. One movement, one breath. This time, exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, thunderbolt, hands to prayer, knees to the earth. Exhale, pranam, bowing, surrendering. Inhale, bhujangasana. Then exhale, gently lift the hips back into child's pose. So no need to rush, just move fluidly though. And then inhale, thunderbolt. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way to standing. Then exhale, hands to prayer. And again, so inhale, float hands and arms, just allowing for a sense of surrender here. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward, so that bowing is always reflective. Inhale, thunderbolt, hands to prayer, a bit of an aspiration, humility. And exhale, pranam, bowing. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra. Exhale, lift the hips back, child's pose. Inhale, thunderbolt. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, sweep all the way back up to standing, hands and arms over the head. Open the arms this time, big inhale. And exhale, the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale, extend front spine, grow tall. Exhale, hinge forward for a little bend in the knees here. Again, goes a long way. Hands and arms over the head. Just breathe deeply. Oh, yeah. And then a little bend in the knees. Release the grip of the hands. And then just walk forward with the hands into a downward facing dog position. Just breathe here. Stay with the breath. And then just gently release to the knees and come into puppy pose. So the forehead to the earth, hips stay lifted. And then gently release into child's pose. Just drift the hips back to the ankles and the hands also float to the feet or ankles. Yeah. And then gently inhale, come up into the tabletop, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Nicely done, friends. Oh, yeah. And at the end of the next exhalation, look forward and step to the top of the mat here. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, folding. Yeah, and then inhale, reach all the way to standing. Hands and arms over the head, gaze goes up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Just take a moment. Just let go. Feel the body soften here, the mind soften. And gently inhale, float hands and arms to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips. We'll send the right leg back into a lunge here. And then float the torso and float the arms. So come on up. So kind of an active Surya Namaskar. Stay with the breath. Really reach tall. Yeah. And then a nice big inhale. Then exhale, the right hand to the right waist will twist to the right. So inhale, reach the left hand forward, twisting to the right elbow on the outside into your thigh, sinking armpit to knee. Right hand covers the left, right shoulder away from right ear, open arms. So left hand earth, right hand to the stars if you choose. Your choice here. Big inhale and exhale, the right arm over the head and just really reach. Stay with the breath. Yeah. And then a nice big inhale. And exhale, gently release the twist here. Hands plant and step back into high plank, high push up here. Just find your breathing. High plank, high push up. Stay with the breath. So just kind of explore this idea of letting go within something that feels active to you. And then float the right leg hip height here. Stay with it. And a nice big inhale. And exhale, right knee, right elbow, a little squeeze in. And then inhale, leg behind you. And exhale, right knee, left elbow, squeeze. Inhale, leg behind you. And exhale, gently release down. We'll switch. So float the left leg here, hip height, pause. Breathe. Nice big inhale. Then exhale, left knee, left elbow, squeeze. And then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, squeeze. Inhale, leg behind you. And exhale, release down. Just stay with the breath. Oh, yeah. A nice big inhale and lift the hips back into down dog. Sink into the heart, surrendering the heart to the earth. And then left foot steps, left hands here. Asana, float torso. And float arms when you're ready. And just breathe. Deeply breathe. Let the body become soft on the exhale, easeful and present. And then take a nice big inhale and exhale, float left hand, left waist. Reach right hand forward, twisting to the left now. So fist right hand, elbow on the outside of your thigh. Seeking armpit to knee. Left hand covers the right hand, breathing. If you want to open the arms, you can, reaching right hand to the earth, left hand to the stars. Stay with the breath. And if you want to draw that left arm over the head towards your front, just reach. Breathe deeply. And a nice big inhale. Exhale, hand down, look down. Plant hand, step back, foot to the top of the mat, forward fold. Just pausing here. Nourish the body with your breath. Letting go as you exhale. Surrendering experience. And then inhale, flat back to standing. Cactus the arms, reach all the way up. Come tall. And then hands to prayer at the heart. And then from here, let's just turn the palms up to the sky. You can close the eyes here. And just feel. Just gently lift the hands and arms over the head. You can open the eyes if you like. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward, forward folding. Send now the right leg back into that lunge. Float upper body and arms here. And then just reach back into it. So let the arms float long behind you. The back of the quad is firm. The inner thigh squeeze, the back heel is lifted. Core can stay toned here. Stay with the breath. And then cactus the arms. Let the heart just flourish here. Then inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, float all the way down. Hands plant, step back, high plank, high push hip here. And just pause. And we'll come into a side plank position. Let the right hand draw into the center line of the body. Roll onto the knife edge of the right foot or modify, releasing the right knee down to the earth. Stack feet here. And then just draw this left arm over the head. Keep lifting the hips. And then draw the left arm towards the front of the space that you're in. And really arc into the side ribs here. Stay with the breath. Keep lifting the hips. And then float the left leg off the earth. Stay with the breath. And then gently release back into high plank position here. Nicely done, friends. Stay with it. Breathe deep. Oh, yeah. And then now draw the left hand into the center line of the mat. Roll onto the knife edge of the left foot. Feet stack here. Really lift the hips. Push the floor away. Draw the right hand to the sky. And stay with the breath. And then draw the right arm over the head if you like, towards the front of the space that you're in. Keep lifting the hips. Stay with the breath. And a nice big inhale. And exhale, gently release back into high plank position. Pausing once again. Surrendering within. And release to the knees all the way to the belly. And then a Sphinx pose, so modified cobra. So the elbows stack under the shoulders here. Ground the feet, ground the pelvis. Heart is lifting, chin tucked slightly. Stay with the breath. The elbows are kind of isometrically tracking towards the hips, so the heart's drawing forward. Just feeling into that. And then inch, if you will, this left hand forward a little bit. And then ground that left forearm firm. Bend the right knee and then capture the right foot with the right hand. Maybe on the inside to track the heel towards the buttocks. Just stretch the quad. Feel into that. Maybe the hand comes onto the top of the foot, the fingers forward. You choose if that's accessible. Breathe here. Just letting the quad surrender. And then from this position, kick the foot into the hand, hold it firmly, and then maybe straighten the left arm, a little bigger back bend that way. Stay with the breath. So Ardha Dhanurasana, so Ardha, bow pose, half bow. And then gently bend that left elbow. We'll switch this out. So ground the right forearm, inch it forward just a little bit. And then when you're ready, bend the left knee, capture the foot or ankle from the inside, heel towards the buttocks, maybe the hands on top of the foot. And just breathe here, stretching the quad. And then gently kick the foot into the hand. Feel into that, and then maybe straighten on this right arm. Little back bend. And then a nice big inhale. And exhale, gently release. Here, hands plant. Inhale, lift the hips up. Back into child's pose. So just ground the pelvis here. Take a moment. Breathe into the belly. Oh, yeah. And gently inhale, flow back up into tabletop and lift the hips back into downward facing dog. Take a moment, breathe deeply. Fully exhaling. And then I'll gentle bend the knees and the right foot steps to the right hand. And then inhale, float torso. And float arms once again. Just reach up. Quad active back leg, heels, lifting back foot. And then the arms reach back, 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 back. Keep the core active here, so belly to the spine. And then inhale, bend the elbows. Heart can flourish here. Stay with the breath. Kind of squeeze the muscles of the back. And then inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, back foot steps folding forward. So forward fold, top of the mat. Let's take a moment here. And then belly to the spine, to standing, flat back all the way. Reach real tall. And bring it into the heart. And then just soften the knees here. Hands to the side. Palms turned open, eyes closed here. Again, a little bend in the knees so the knees aren't locked out. Just feel really grounded and present. Let the body surrender to the earth here. If there's any holding in the body, find these little parts that you're engaging and soften into that as well. So a little salutation here. Open the eyes. And then inhale, sweep hands and arms to the sky. Nicely done, friends. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward here. Inhale, flat back, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant hands, step back, high plank, high push-up. Pause here. And then inhale into up dog. Let the hips just gently release down. Roll over the tops of the feet. Stay with the breath. Big inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Yeah. Nice. And warrior one on the right side. So right foot steps to the right hand. Virabhadrasana, one left foot pivots down. Inhale, float hands and arms to the sky. Reach real tall. Exhale, float hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, extend front spine. And exhale, bow the torso on the inside of this right leg. Breathing. And then inhale halfway out of it. And then warrior three, release the back foot, point the heel to the sky, step the foot in. Then inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the back leg. Heart lifts, leg lifts, shoulders move away from the ears. Breathe here. A nice big inhale. Next, we'll bend standing leg knee, release the back foot down, hands to prayer. Heart center, so peace warrior stance. When we accept something fully, we become peaceful. A nice big inhale, and exhale, hands to the waist. Inhale, straighten the front leg, and exhale, pivot 180 degrees. So warrior one again. Step that right foot out to keep the hip tracking. When you're ready, hands and arms over the head, reach real tall. Stay with the breath. Big inhale. Exhale, hands behind you, interlace. Inhale, lengthen front spine, grow tall. And exhale, bow torso on the inside of this right leg, hands and arms over the head. Breathe here. And then inhale, half lift. So modified warrior 3, release the back foot, point the heel to the sky, step the foot in, then inhale, straighten the stand leg, and lift the back leg. Stay with the breath here. Breathe in. And then carefully bend the stand leg knee, release the back foot down. Hands to prayer, heart. So peace warrior stance. Breathing. And nice big inhale. Exhale, hands to the waist. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Pivot 180 degrees. Back foot steps to the top of the mat. Pause here. Palms open, eyes closed, knees bent. Come back to your breath. Sense of letting go. And then like this supreme indifference to letting go. So moving one layer past the act even of the idea of letting go. Releasing I am. Nicely done, friends. And then just gently open the eyes here, and we'll stay standing. Extend the left foot back, so Parsvattanasana, so hands to the waist here. Hips are squaring off. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale, hinge at the hips, folding forward. Pause just halfway down. Move the shoulders away from the ears. The elbows kind of squeeze towards one another. Keep grounding the big toe mound. Keep grounding the back foot. Yeah, nice big inhale. And exhale, hinge deeper in the form. You can release the hands to the shin, or block the floor, wherever it may be. Just feeling into that deeper forehead towards the shin. Yeah, stay with the breath. Yeah. And then inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the waist. And then inhale, flat back all the way to standing. And we'll step the back foot to the top of the mat. Switch this out. So our leg goes back here. Inhale, breath. And exhale, hinge. Again, grounding. Big toe mound, front foot. Back foot firm here. Pause halfway. Elbows track towards one another. Nice big inhale. And exhale, continue your descent in the form. Hands can release. Forehead towards the shin as well. Breathe here, friends. And then inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands to the waist. And then inhale, flat back to standing. And exhale, backward steps to the top of the mat. Now, so relax for a moment. I'm just going to demonstrate this next little series. It's what we just did, but it's while we're holding the breath, both on the inhale and the exhale. And it looks like this. And so hands to the waist. And then I'll inhale my breathing. Hold the breath in. Exhale. All the way. Hold the breath out. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, catch breath. Then inhale, hold the breath in. Exhale, hold the breath out. So that'll be our sequence. And I'll kind of keep tabs on this, trying to keep this together. So step the left leg back. Hands to the waist. Inhale your breathing and hold the breath in. Exhale, bow forward slowly. Hold the breath out, hands can release. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, catch breath. Inhale and hold the breath in. Exhale, bow. Hold the breath out, hands to the floor. Inhale all the way up. Then exhale, back foot steps to the top of the mat. And we switch this out, so right leg back. Just 2 rounds each side. On your stance, inhale your breathing, hold the breath in. Exhale, hinge. Hold the breath out. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, catch breath. Inhale. Hold the breath in. Exhale, fold. Hold the breath out. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, back foot steps. And just pause here, close the eyes. Find your breathing. Soften the knees when you stand. Just take a moment and integrate. And sit down, friends. You can open your eyes here, put the weight into the right foot here, and balance on this right leg, and then float the left foot a figure 4 above the right knee, hands to prayer. Go into that, and just sink into this standing leg knee. Just feel into the hip, whatever your hip will kind of accommodate here. Maybe the hands release to the earth. You choose how your body integrates this, just feeling. With the breath, letting the hip relax. And then hands to prayer. Not quite done. Here, release the hands down and the leg up. So just find your balance on the leg, this right leg. And then take this right hand on the outside of the left knee and just open the left arm behind you. So a little standing twist. Breathe here. And then gently bring the hands to prayer. Then gently release the leg down. Just take a moment. Surrendering. Always letting go. And exhale. Softening the body. And then work the weight into this left foot. The right foot above the left knee here. Figure 4 once again. And then just bend into the stand leg knee. Just float down. Breathing maybe the hands to the earth, whatever's comfortable for the body here. Stay with the breath. And then gently, hands to prayer here. Begin to make your way up and the hands slow down and the leg draws up. Find your balance. And then the left hand on the outside of the right knee, and this right arm sweeps behind you. Twisting open. Stay with the breath. And then gently hands back to prayer. And release the leg down. Nice, friends. So Malasana, so let the feet turn open. Heels in, just bend into the knees here, and then into the squatting position. Hands to prayer on the earth. Take a moment. The torso is elongated though. Back is flat. And then we'll twist here. Release the right hand to the earth, the left hand to the sky. Breathe. And back into a neutral position. And then the left hand to the earth and the right hand to the sky. Breathe in. And then gently to neutral. And then extend the hands out in front of you. Bow the head. And just gently release to the hips here. Yeah. We're going to move around and come back onto our knees. So just wiggle your way onto your knees into kind of standing with the hips to the heels. So again, let's just take a moment and relax. I'm going to demonstrate kind of our next two moves. It's Ustrasana Camel into what's called Kormasana, and that's extended tortoise. And I'm going to do this with breath retention. So the breath will be held here, both on the inhale and the exhale. And this can be kind of challenging. And so what I would say is if you feel like this might be a little much to take on, please modify this. In other words, just breathe naturally. But so it looks like this. So again, I'm just going to demo. Hands to the low back, and then I'll inhale and come on up. And I'll hold the breath in. And then exhale, palms come together, hands over the head, forehead to the earth, and the breath is held out. And then inhale, hands to inhale up. Exhale, hands to low back. And we'll do that again. We'll do 2 or 3 rounds. We'll see once we get into it how that feels. So bring the hands to the low back here. Exhale, you're breathing completely. Inhale up into Ustrasana Camel and hold the breath if you wish. And then exhale, palms come together. Kormasana, hands over the head. Hold the breath out, forehead to the earth, hips to the heels. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to low back. Inhale, come up, hold the breath in if you choose. Exhale, tortoise pose. Hands to prayer, over the head, forehead, earth, hips, heels. Hold the breath out. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, hands to low back. We'll do one more round. Inhale up into Ustrasana. Hold the breath in if you wish. Exhale, Kormasana. Hold the breath out. Inhale to neutral. Just catch your breathing. And then gently, we'll make our way onto our backs. Your heads will be at the top of the mat. And then just lie down. Let the body relax here. And then soles of the feet together here. Knees separate, open naturally. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soften into the hips. Just relaxing, letting go. Pranidhanat, surrendering. And gently draw the knees towards one another. Hug them into the chest. And rock side to side. In a supine twist here, so ground the feet flat. Shift the hips to the right. The arms are at a tear cactus position, real familiar. Twist your knees to the left, legs stack possibly. Gaze gently to the right. Closing the eyes, just breathing, relaxing. And very gently let the knees draw back up. Swing the hips now then to the left and the knees to the right. Just relaxing. Just beginning to remove the I sense, the I am. And gently let the knees draw back up into neutral position here. Hug them. Then Viparita Karni Mudra, our inversion. Just ground the hands, lift the feet, lift the hips, hands maybe to the low back or use a block. Just relaxing. We'll just gently begin to make our way out of this. A little bend the knees, let the hands release to the earth and the hips slowly float down. Yeah. One last little hug of the knees into the chest. And then our pre-Shavasana breath. Retention here. Extend the legs out, palms turn up. And then gently exhale your breath completely. And then take a nice big inhale and just hold the breath in. And surrender completely here as you exhale. Exhale the breath out. Just feel the tissues, the body release. We'll do one more of these, so exhale the breath completely. Take a nice big inhale. Hold the breath in. And then pooch out the belly and keep holding the breath. And surrender completely as you exhale. Exhale the breath. And get comfortable in any way that you may need here. Take your time and we'll settle in for Shavasana. Just relaxing, letting go. framing your experience through the observer, witness. And just very gently let your breath lengthen. And just feel begin to add a little bit of movement to the body. Just noticing its command over experience, and that you're still invited to stay peaceful and surrender. Just hug the knees into the chest, a little squeeze, and we'll end up on the left side. And just feel a deep connection with the earth underneath you and a sense of ease here. And gently come up to a seated position. Sit up nice and tall. Just prepare for seated meditation. And so maybe elevating the pelvis on some kind of a support or things. We'll just do a couple of little pranayams, but these are very potent practices. The first we practice many times, just our deep yogic breathing with kumbhak or breath suspension at the top of the inhale and also the bottom of the exhale. So if you're familiar with that practice, begin to do that now. The kumbhak has a little special nature to it. It isn't so much of a breath hold, but at the top, say, of the inhale, one continues to filter a little bit of breath in, just for a few counts. And then also at the bottom, one continues to filter a little bit of a breath out. So one may say it's suspended versus held. So again, beginning when you're ready with this practice. The deep yogic breath, as we know, is belly expanding, ribs expand, chest lifts and expands. And at the very bottom of the exhale, the belly button is drawing towards the spine. And then as the belly is released, we integrate into a full another round of breath. So deep yogic breathing with kumbhak at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. As one processes the exhale, be mindful of how one is encouraged to let the tissues go and relax in the body, soften here. It does take a bit of courage to go to the bottom of the exhale and linger down there. Let that come to fruition, and don't grasp, save for breath, but fully manifest that sensation. And just recreating the act of the ego's surrender, it's letting go and then abolishing even the sense of the doer. And then gently with your next exhalation and its retention, let's complete the round that you're on. Just take a moment here, breathe normally. Just to frame again the sense of the Pranidhanat, the surrender. One must say, fully understand the usefulness of this idea of surrender is to really allow the mind to become empty. The Yoga Sutras say again and again, then the mind eventually becomes fit for actual meditation. It's to refabricate the quality of the fluctuations or modifications of your mind. Those are called vrittis. Recognizing that vritti as a pulse from the ego sense, the I sense, binding one into this temporal identity versus a more spiritually illuminated quality. Our next pranayama is called Viloma Pranayama, reverse breathing. We're going to flip this sequence from what we may normally have done. The practice will be, we'll take a full yogic breath on an inhalation and then exhale in 5 equal parts with 5 equal pauses between each little exhalation. So the technique will be full yogic breath, inhale, then exhale for say 2 or 3 counts, and then stop the breath. Exhale for 2 or 3 more counts. Stop the breath. 5 exhalations to complete the exhale. 5 equal pauses between each exhale. Stair stepping the breath out of the body, and just begin when you're ready. The last exhalation should complete the full release of the breath from the lungs, and you should pause also, kumbhak, at the very bottom of the exhale. Kind of make this count. It's like a graded surrender. And then gently with your next complete exhalation, you can release this practice. Fully releasing the breath for modification here. For our meditation practice here this morning, the guidance will be to focus on the sense of nothingness, emptiness. A sense of presence or peace can fill the container of experience. in this qualified non-dual way, the perspective of this meditation is from the supreme independence. Always one that is just the witness. But we add this extra flavor of this idea of non-doership. That even the witness is without ownership. It has no host. It has no identity, no I am, no ego. It can be certainly challenging to keep the mind free from movement, from vritti, from modification. And just cycle back to emptiness. Or one may even add the mantra of Om if a thought appears in the mind and somehow is holding you. Let it just be saturated in the mantra of Om if you wish. Or just sustain the meditation in a sense of stillness. Just very gently let your breath lengthen here. Just kind of sustaining this sense of the observer, the witness. This sense of Pranidhanat, the sense of surrender. witnessing a sense of freedom in the heart and in the mind, untethered from conditioned experience, and illuminating into the sweet light of awareness. And allow the nervous system to fully absorb into this kind of rapture of presence. So we'll just gently bring our hands to prayer position, feeling this energy of hope, humility, selflessness, surrender, and gratitude for this time that we can share together in Sangha, Saturday morning sadhana Sangha. And again, as Babaji was asked about surrender, his reflection was, as in the sadhana, the ego surrenders, accumulating into peace. So thank you for sharing this time together. Namaste. Okay, friends. All right. Well, just a little hello and a goodbye. Hi, Lori, and thank you for joining. Yes, peace, love, and gratitude, and all the friends that are on the stream. Thanks, and may we all, explore the art of surrender, the surrendering of the ego sense. Very welcome, Sarah. And what I would say, today, tomorrow, when we're still kind of in the bob of this, very welcome, Stephanie and Tammy. Find this place that might be a little, charged in your day, and just surrender, as it were. And then, of course, always surrender into loving peace. All right, thanks, friends. Be well. Namaste, y'all. Om Shanti Shanti.